Hey everyone, welcome back to Be Still for episode number 3. I'm really excited for you guys to know more about my journey, my story. Again, my name's Bedina, and this is Be Still, Be Stronger Than You Look. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump into it. So I've shared with you guys my first memory at 3 years old, which was my mom leaving. Sorry for the background noise. The second one is after my mom left and going from home to home. So this one is going to delve into after going back to my grandmother's, right? So when I got back to my grandmother's, she made me the sandwich. My brother and my sister weren't there. The only one that was my youngest sister, and I think she was taking a nap at the time. So my grandmother made the phone call as I was eating. And something in me just knew it was off, right? Something in me at that young age knew that something was not right. I'm paying attention to the surroundings. I'm just having this gut feeling. So all of a sudden, there was a knock at the door. I don't know how quickly they came, but they came real quick. And I remember running into my sister's room and hiding under her bed because I knew that someone was coming to take me. And my grandmother was a familiar face, so I didn't want to go. My mom still wasn't there. So they came, and I remember I was under the bed, I was crying, I was not trying to come out, and they finally got me out. And it was two people. I can't remember their names, but it was two ladies. And they took me to the car. My grandmother had packed, she never unpacked my bags. They took me to this car, and I remember being in the back seat crying and just looking at my grandmother as she's standing there. And I don't know what she was feeling at the time, but I remember everything that I felt. I was scared. I didn't know where I was going. Nobody really told me or explained to me what was going on. And I cried the whole way there. And the next thing you know, we go up this long driveway to this house that's sitting at the top of a hill. And we go in, and my brother and my sister are there, and it's a little short older lady. I think she was in her 60s. She was 65 years old, and her name was Miss Anderson. The comforting feeling for me was my brother and my sister were there, and we all hugged each other. But the uncomfort was what's going on. I still didn't understand or know what was going on, not realizing that I was being placed in foster care, that we were all placed in foster care. And I guess they didn't want to split us up, so they put us all together, which was probably the blessing of it all. But being in foster care wasn't the best experience. Of course, you take your wins and your losses. You take the pros and the cons. The pros was, we grew up in church. We grew up with manners, and things like that. But the cons was just kind of how everything was enforced. To each their own. I believe, everyone has a different story that has been in foster care. Mine wasn't the greatest. My brother was biracial, and we were in the South, and it was hard going to a predominantly white school, being me and my sister being the only two Black kids, and my brother the only biracial kid. There was another kid in the school who was he was Indian, Native American Indian, and it was hard for him too. But we were pretty much the only people of color in the school, and it was hard. It was hard, on top of being raised in a very, very strict home. So for instance, she wasn't affectionate. she wasn't affectionate. We weren't allowed to do what felt like 99% of what kids were able to do. We were told, we were forced to go outside in the heat. And y'all know, like, back in the day, summertime was hot as hell. Y'all think it's hot as hell now. Back in the day, summertime was hot as hell, like over 100 degrees. And we had to find something to do. We would be locked out of the house. She would lock the door, and we would have to knock and ask to come in, even to use the bathroom. It was just hard. It was hard. Some of the rules were like, really? Like taking a shower, or not a shower. She didn't believe in showers, but baths. Me and my sister had to take baths together, and there were times that she would put bleach in the bath water. Bleach to where our eyes would be burning. Our skin was like it felt like it was the slimy consistency. And we were told to scrub the black off of us. Mind you, she was black. We were told to scrub the black off of us. My brother, being biracial, it was harder for him. He kind of took the brunt of everything. It was hard. And, you know, we felt really, really bad for him. And he was our brother, you know, or he is our brother. When we were punished, speaking of the bleach baths, there were times that we would get whippings, for a lack of better words, while we were in the tub with the bleach. And it wasn't a belt, y'all. It was a switch. So if you don't know what a switch is, it's a limb from a tree. And there were 3 of us, and a lot of times she would have us go out and each one of us pick one. And even if we thought we got the smallest one, or the one that wouldn't hurt that much, it didn't matter, because she would braid them all together and would commence to whipping us, whether we were in the tub with the bleach or whether we were out. And we would get whippings for no reason. We used to get whippings based off of what another one did. My brother used to get them literally for no reason at all. And we felt really bad. Like it sucked to see the trauma that he endured. And to this day, he deals with a lot of trauma from childhood. We weren't allowed to play with our toys. We would get toys. Our step grandmother would bring me and my sister like a Barbie doll. My brother would get maybe a car, like a set of cars or something like that for Christmas. And we were allowed to play with it for like one day, and then she would take them and she would hide them. Like, me and my sister had stuffed animals and baby dolls, but she would hang them up on the walls, and we would be left with one stuffed animal. So we just had to look at them all the time. We had to look at them. It was really hard. It was kind of like the discipline was beat into us. It was more so out of fear. You know, let's do this out of fear of getting beat. You know, it was really hard. It wasn't a good experience. It wasn't a good experience. We lived in church. Y'all, we lived in church Sunday through Sunday. We were at the church doing something. But you know what? It became like a kind of a getaway to be around other people, because being home was just, it was a sad place to be. We never wanted to be there. Never wanted to be there. She would hide her switches in like this big vase that it kind of like, I was short. Still am, but it would sit high off the floor, and she would hide them in there. That would be her hiding spot. And when other people would come over, she would act like she was like the best. But as soon as they would leave, it was just a different a different atmosphere. Um, sometimes scary. Sometimes scary. We used to love when company would come over because we felt like we could maybe be a little bit of a kid, but not too much because everything was being watched. We were definitely being watched. And of course, we were like, there were times where it's like, I'm gonna run away. Oh, you're not gonna. My brother did. My brother ran away multiple times. But when he was found, he was beat. Not that in she tried to talk to him and ask him. There was no talking. There were no feelings, no emotions. Like, you can't get those things out. It didn't matter. It was a do as I say, not as I do type of environment. And know a child's place and just be quiet. So that was more so like we couldn't express ourselves at all whatsoever. Um, and going to school was we kind of wanted it to be a place of solace, but it wasn't because you never knew what was going to happen around the corner. So for instance, we went to the same school. One day I'm at my locker, getting my books out of it, and two boys walked up to me and they were like, "What is your brother? Is he black or is he white?" And I'm like, "He's both, you know, he's both." And they were like, "Oh, well, we call him a nigger." And I think at that moment was when I kind of felt um, my brother's pain. And I don't think I don't think I ever felt it any other time before then. But I felt it. I felt every emotion that he ever dealt with when it came to that. He was a biracial kid in a predominantly white world. Nowadays, being biracial is more accepted. It's probably pushed more now than I've ever seen it, versus back then where it was frowned upon. A black person and a white person creating a baby, like, that's a negative. Or whatever ethnicity or race that you are. But now it's more socially accepted, but then it wasn't. It wasn't, especially down south in the area that we lived in. So I felt that. I felt everything, and it hurt. It hurt. And I had my best friend was white. Well, of course, being the only black people. But my best friend was white, and we didn't see color. We didn't see color, and our friends didn't see color either. The color came more so from the adults. It was her birthday, and I wanted to go to her birthday party, and I was asking if I could go. She had invited me, and I was told no. And I never in my life had I ever asked my foster mom why. And she said, "Because you're black." I could not wrap my head around that. And I was like, "But she's my best friend. She's my best friend. What does it matter?" So I wasn't able to go. I never went to a friend's house the entire time. Now, mind you, within this amount of time frame, we had been adopted, which was also, it wasn't a great moment for us. Most kids are like, "Yay, I got a mom." And we're like, "This is our mom?" You know, it was hard. It was hard. I remember being in court, and they asked the kids, do you accept this person to be your mom? Everything in me was screaming no. Every bit of me was screaming no. I didn't want to, but we were so scared to speak out of fear of being beat. that we said yeah. We said yes. And that was who adopted us. And it went on. It went on. And I'll leave it there today. And I'll jump into, on the next episode, more of the family involvement of the foster system and the punishments. So I do appreciate you guys for listening. I almost cried, y'all. I almost cried, but I didn't. Yes, I'm proud of myself. But tears are good. Tears are good, and I might just cry on the next one. But but I do want to thank you guys so much for watching. Again, please make sure to like, subscribe, share it out. I'm also on TikTok under Shin Diggs, Shin, Shin Diggs, same last name. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, guys. And I just want to encourage everyone to keep going. Don't give up. Don't give up. Life may be hard, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm still trying to get to that light as well. So we in this together, all right? But in the meantime, you guys, please be safe, be loved, and be still. Be stronger than you look. Take care.